Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy here, also known as ETCG1 on the ETCG1 channel. Here on ETCG1 we carry on conversations, we talk about things, we don't necessarily do repair videos. So if you're interested in repair videos, I'll post a link in the description to my Eric the Car Guy channel. You can go there and watch all the repair videos you like. However, if you wish to stick around and join in the conversation, I welcome you to do so. How are you? I get in trouble for not saying that. I get in trouble for a lot of things actually, but it's part of what I do. Today's topic. You tend to specialize. And what I mean when I say that is, as a technician and you go out there and you work for a while, you tend to find what you're good at, and you tend to stick with that. And that really happens if you, say, get into a dealership situation, or even if like you get into an aftermarket shop that specializes in, say, European makes or Asian makes. Behind me, you will see two Hondas and a Ford. And that's no accident, namely because I spent a great deal of my career working on Hondas, and I'm sure you know by now that I've specialized in them and I know quite a bit about them. But then when it comes to getting under the hood of something different, it can be, I'm not saying confusing, but a little bit unfamiliar. And when you're in those unfamiliar situations, you may not be as effective as you would be otherwise. This is why I have a great deal of respect for those people that work in independent shops where they work on everything. Honestly, I don't know too many of those that are still around. Sure, there are a few that are sprinkled about. I'm not saying they don't exist anymore. In fact, some places that's all there is. But here in the States, you see people specialize, and with good reason. It's sort of similar to the medical profession in that you wouldn't necessarily go to a proctologist for brain surgery. Well, some of you might, but I think you get my point. Even in the medical field, there are specialists that focus their area of study and expertise in one particular area. In the automotive industry, we have people that specifically focus on, say, remanufacturing automatic transmissions. And there's a reason for that, because that discipline in and of itself involves a great deal of expertise, tools. Right off the bat, I can think of a transmission dynamometer that would save you hours of frustration, because you could actually test the transmission before you ever put it up in the vehicle. Having that is invaluable. It's a pretty sizable purchase though, so it wouldn't be something that would be suited for, say, an independent repair shop. Because one, it takes up a lot of space, and two, the expense of that and the amount of automatic transmission rebuilds you would have to do in order to recoup that cost would be substantial. Therefore, you would tend to specialize. There are other shops that I know of that specialize strictly in speedometer and gauge work. That is a discipline in and of itself. And that's the thing. I mean, there's a lot of specialty things that might be out there. You've got your muffler shops that you know, may specialize in exhaust and mufflers, and may not be so good when it comes to, say, high-end diagnostic work. I even know of hired hands or mercenaries, if you will, of people that go out to different shops and do diagnostic work for these shops when they get in over their head in those situations. Scanner Danner is a perfect example of that. I believe he does some of that type of work. To where if a shop, you know, calls them up and says, "Hey, we've got this vehicle. We're chasing our tails on." It behooves them to do it this way, because instead of putting somebody who's not familiar with a system, a vehicle, what have you, in a situation where they're not comfortable, and you're taking them outside their comfort zone, it ultimately will cost you more in the long run, because that person will spend that much more time trying to do the research, trying to catch up, just trying to get the basics of what they're working on, so they can perform a repair or a diagnostic. So it's as I said, there's a tendency to specialize in this business, and I liken it to the medical profession in that they do a similar thing. You've got a dermatologist, you've got an anesthesiologist. You do have your general practitioners, but you know, in essence, if you go to a general practitioner and you say you've got a problem that's specific to a particular field or a particular discipline, they'll refer you to someone else who is a specialist. And they do this because, as I said, there's a lot of knowledge that goes into this, and automobiles as well. I mean, automobiles are changing, you know, every few months. There's a new model year that comes out, and there's this ever-changing progression that's constantly happening. And to stay abreast of that technology overall is somewhat overwhelming. So, such as myself, I've become very adept at working on Hondas. And as a result, that's mostly what I work on. It's not all I work on. And you see there's still a Ford back there, but I think you get the gist of what I'm talking about, in that, you know, for the most part, you want a specialist to look at things and I've often referred people who come to me that say they have perhaps a transmission problem. And I refer them to a transmission specialist, because your shop, your go-to place, may not necessarily have the expertise to properly diagnose or accurately diagnose a problem that you're having with, say, an automatic transmission. However, somebody that works on automatic transmissions on a daily basis, they may have all the knowledge necessary to very quickly assess the situation and let you know what you're dealing with. And it ultimately boils down to efficiency. Because, as I said, you take somebody like me and put them under the hood of an unfamiliar vehicle, I'm going to spend a bit more time trying to figure out what it is I'm looking at before I'm actually going to start a repair or start working on what I'm doing. The internet has helped us a great deal in this sense, and we're able to reach out to specialists or access information that specialists have put out there that we can use to our own ends. This has been very helpful. There are different companies out there that you know, just deal in this information, like you know, Mitchell and All Data and Identifix. People like that, you know, have built their business model around giving you that inside information, if you will, from people that may know more than you. And trust me, there's always somebody who's going to know more than you in this. Happens to me every day. In fact, you, the viewers, many times have pointed out things to me that I've learned from, and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for that give and take that we have going on, because there are times when I'm in unfamiliar territory and I need help, and there are people that I can reach out to, and vice versa. If they've got a Honda issue or something like that, well, you know, hey, I'm your man. But I just wanted to briefly touch upon that topic and see what your thoughts were on specialization of repair work. Or is there something that you're a particular specialist with? Have you had an experience with something of this nature, as I mentioned, with automatic transmissions or speedometers, or, you know, collision repair? That's another example. You don't see too many mechanics doing collision work because it's a completely different discipline. It's a different set of tools. You have to buy enough tools as it is. The last thing you want to do is have to buy more tools. And like I said, those guys that work in general repair shops, they probably have the largest toolboxes, and there's probably a good reason for that, because they've worked on a lot of different things. But I think what you see a lot more is the specialty shops. As I said, Europeans might have their own specialty aftermarket shop. They may specialize even in, say, a particular brand like Mercedes or BMW or Audi or what have you. And then, you know, on the Asian side, you might have somebody that specializes in Hondas and Toyotas or what have you. And a lot of these people may have started their shops and may have been ex-dealership mechanics. It's what I would wager in those situations. But once again, throwing it back to you, what are your opinions, experiences with this topic? I will put a link in the description down below to a discussion about this video if you want to carry it on there. Comments are always welcome to the video as well. And if you have automotive questions, I would ask that you head over to ericthecarguy.com and utilize the resources there, which are described in a welcome video that you'll see if you're going there for the first time. And if you wish to connect with me socially, and when I say socially, I mean like, hey Eric, what's your favorite color kind of thing. I can be found on Google+, Facebook, and Twitter. I post ETCG1 videos on Monday, so stop back and see me then. And I close all of my videos with be safe, have fun, and stay dirty. I'm going to see you next time.